The obsession with perfection. Nina Sayers is a ballerina obsessed with perfection. In the world of ballet, discipline is everything. She has spent her entire life training under the control of her overbearing mother, Erica, a former dancer who never achieved stardom. Erica lives through Nina, monitoring every move, dictating what she eats, when she sleeps, how she trains. Even at 24, Nina's room looks like a little girl's pink walls, stuffed animals, a music box playing the delicate tune of Swan Lake. Erica tucks her into bed like a child, keeping her fragile, innocent untouched. But innocence doesn't win lead roles. When Thomas Leroy, the company's artistic director, announces auditions for Swan Lake, Nina is desperate for the part. The role demands a dancer who can embody both the delicate, graceful white swan and the seductive, uninhibited black swan. Nina is perfect for the white swan. Her movements are precise, her technique flawless. She has spent years mastering the art of controlled grace, executing every step with perfection. She breathes ballet, living only to perform, to be seen, to be admired. But her controlled nature, her refusal to lose herself in the role, makes her rigid. The audience must believe in the transformation, must see her unravel into chaos. But when Thomas watches her dance, he shakes his head. The black swan is raw, dangerous, sexual. Nina doesn't have it. Thomas steps forward, circling her like a predator inspecting prey. He grabs her waist, his fingers pressing into her ribs. Thomas, you can't just dance the black swan, Nina. You have to seduce us. Lose yourself in it. His lips suddenly brush against hers, forceful and unexpected. A test. She pulls away, shocked, but he simply smirks. Thomas, go home. Touch yourself. Stop trying to be perfect. Nina is humiliated, but deep down she knows if she wants this role, she needs to let go. The arrival of Lily, a living nightmare. Then comes Lily, a new dancer from San Francisco. She is everything Nina isn't. Reckless, confident, effortlessly seductive. Where Nina follows every rule, Lily breaks them. Where Nina overthinks every movement, Lily moves like she doesn't care. Thomas watches Lily with interest, sensing something Nina lacks. Nina notices too. She begins obsessing over Lily, her body, her freedom, the way she doesn't have to try to be desirable. Lily flirts with Thomas openly, laughing with him, touching his arm, and Nina wonders, does Thomas want Lily to take her role? Her anxiety grows, feeding into self-doubt. As rehearsals intensify, Nina begins to change. She wakes up with scratches on her back and bruises on her thighs but has no memory of how they got there. Her reflection moves when she isn't looking. Her mother locks her in the apartment at night, terrified that Nina is losing her grip. But Nina no longer cares. She needs to become the black swan, and if it means losing herself, so be it. A night of transformation. One night, Lily invites Nina out for drinks. At first, Nina refuses. Her mother would never allow it. But when Lily smiles, something inside her shifts. She sneaks out, meets Lily at a bar, and for the first time in her life, lets loose. Shots burn her throat, the music pulses through her body, and she finds herself pressed against strangers on the dance floor, hips grinding, heat rising between her legs. She doesn't care who's watching. Her controlled nature shatters in the haze of the moment. Then Lily leans in, her lips brushing Nina's ear. She slips a pill into Nina's hand. It'll help you relax. Nina hesitates, then she swallows it. The night turns into a blur of bodies, sweat, hands gripping her waist, lips grazing her skin. She's never felt this free, this alive. When she and Lily stumble back to her apartment, their hands are all over each other. Clothes fall to the floor, fingers exploring, breasts pressed together as they collapse onto the bed. Lily's mouth trails down Nina's body, her breath hot against her skin, and for the first time, Nina isn't thinking about ballet. She loses herself in Lily completely, and when she wakes up the next morning, Lily is gone. The descent into madness. At rehearsal, Nina sees Lily dancing her role. Thomas watches, impressed. Panic grips Nina's chest. She storms up to Lily, accusing her of sleeping with Thomas just to take her part. Lily laughs. What are you talking about? I wasn't even at your place last night. Nina freezes. If Lily wasn't there, who was? She rushes to the mirror. Her eyes look different, darker. Her skin is changing. She scratches at it and black feathers push through. She is becoming the black swan. But is it real? Or is she completely losing her mind? The breaking point, a mind unraveling. The days leading up to opening night are a blur of pain and paranoia. Nina's body is covered in fresh wounds, scratches she doesn't remember making, bruises she swears weren't there before. Her mother tightens her grip, trying to shield her from the outside world, but Nina fights back, slamming the door in her face, desperate for freedom. She practices obsessively, her feet bleeding through the pointe shoes, her mind blurring the lines between reality and hallucination. Every time she looks into a mirror, her reflection lags behind a sinister version of herself, watching with dark, empty eyes. One evening, as she peels off her leotard, she gasps. Her skin is breaking apart. Feathers sprout from her back, black and sleek. She touches them, her breath ragged. But as quickly as they appeared, they vanish. Her body is normal again. Was it real? She clenches her fists, nails digging into her palms. She is the Black Swan now. She just has to prove it. Opening night, perfection at any cost. The theater is packed. The energy is electric. The lights are blinding. This is it. The first act is flawless. Nina embodies the White Swan, delicate and tragic. Her movements effortless, her expression haunting. The audience is captivated, their eyes locked onto her every move. Backstage, she feels her heartbeat pounding. Something is wrong. She enters her dressing room and freezes. Lily is standing there, already in costume. "You're not ready," she whispers, her lips curling into a smirk. "I'll do it." Rage surges through Nina. She lunges. Lily fights back, clawing at Nina's arms, knocking over the dressing table, the mirror shattering into jagged shards. Nina grabs a broken piece and drives it into Lily's stomach. Lily gasps, her eyes wide in horror. She stumbles back, blood seeping through her costume, her lips forming silent words. Then she collapses. Nina breathes heavily, staring at what she's done. She killed Lily. But there's no time to grieve. She covers the body with towels, fixes her makeup, and walks back onto the stage. The transformation, becoming the Black Swan. She steps onto the stage for the second act. Her mind is blank. Her body is alive. The music begins. Something changes. She doesn't dance the Black Swan. She becomes her. Her arms stretch, her fingertips trembling, and for the first time, she lets go. Her movements are raw, uninhibited, sensual. Her head rolls back as the music swallows her whole. She spreads her arms, and in the dim glow of the stage, she sees them black wings. Her audience gasps, hypnotized. She is transformed. She finishes with a sharp pirouette, her body controlled yet wild. The final note rings through the theater, a standing ovation. Backstage, Thomas approaches her, his eyes filled with awe. "My little princess, you were perfect." Nina exhales, her entire body trembling. She did it, but then, a slow, creeping realization. The final revelation. She stumbles into the dressing room. Her hands tremble as she pulls back the towels covering Lily's body, but Lily isn't there. She looks down at herself. Her hands are covered in blood. Her stomach, a deep wound, red seeping through her tutu. She didn't kill Lily. She stabbed herself. Her breath is shallow. The pain finally reaches her. Her mind was never in control. Her vision blurs. But there's one more scene. She returns to the stage for the final moment, the White Swan's death. With her last bit of strength, she leaps from the top of the set, arms outstretched. The crowd gasps as she falls, her body landing softly. The final note fades into silence. The lights dim. Thunderous applause erupts. Thomas rushes to her side. "Nina?" She stares at the ceiling, her lips trembling, her breath weak. A single tear slips down her cheek. "I was perfect." Her eyes glaze over. The legacy of Black Swan. Black Swan is not just a film about ballet. It is a psychological nightmare about ambition, obsession, and the destruction of self. Nina's entire life was built on control. But to be perfect, she had to let go. In the end, she became the swan. But to be truly perfect, Nina had to die.